Stop. Right now. Don't move past this moment. Don't let your mind drift. Don't let your fingers scroll, because this is not Sluchaikaki and Yerikaki. This is not just another voice blending into the noise of your day. This moment was appointed. It was aligned with your steps before you even realized you would be here. You didn't stumble into this. You were led. And there is a reason your attention paused here, a reason something inside you whispered, "Wait, listen." That feeling you can't quite explain. That is not coincidence. That is me, reaching for you, calling you by name in a way only your spirit can recognize. This is for you. The one who feels like you've been overlooked. The one who has been quietly asking questions you haven't dared to speak out loud. The one who wonders if I'm still near, if I'm still listening, if I still care. You've been carrying a weight that no one else fully sees, walking through your days with a silent heaviness, trying to convince yourself that everything is fine when deep down, something feels off. And yet, here you are. You stop. You're still listening. That alone tells you something. That alone should awaken you to the truth that I have not lost you, and you have not lost me. Listen carefully, because I am not speaking casually right now. This is not just a soft whisper in the background of your life. This is a call. A direct, intentional call. I am reaching through the noise, through the distractions, through the doubt that has been clouding your mind, and I am asking for your attention. Not later, not when you feel ready, not when everything makes sense, but now. Because something is unfolding, something is shifting, and you are standing in a moment that carries more weight than you realize. You may think this is just another message, just another passing moment in your day, but it isn't. There is a reason your heart feels slightly different right now. There is a reason you can't fully pull yourself away. It's because a part of you remembers me. A part of you still recognizes my voice, even if you've tried to ignore it, even if life has pulled you in 100 different directions. That connection hasn't disappeared. It's been waiting. Waiting for this exact moment, when you would finally pause long enough to hear me clearly again. So don't rush this. Don't push this aside like everything else. Stay here. Lean into this moment, because what I am about to reveal is not small, and it is not Sluchaikaki and Yerikaki. It is connected to everything you've been feeling, everything you've been questioning, everything you thought I was silent about. You've been waiting for me, haven't you? Waiting for a sign, for clarity, for something undeniable. But what if the truth is I have been calling you all along, and this is the first time you've truly stopped to hear it? So I ask you again, with all the urgency of heaven behind these words, my child, are you there? I see what you've been carrying, even the parts you tried to hide from everyone else. You've been tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Your body may rest, but your mind keeps racing, replaying moments, questioning decisions, wondering if you missed something, if you went the wrong way somewhere along the path. There are nights when you lie awake staring into the darkness, feeling the weight of everything pressing down on you, and you don't even know how to explain it. It's not just one problem. It's a quiet accumulation of thoughts, doubts, and unanswered questions that have been building over time. And you've been trying to hold it all together, haven't you? Smiling when you need to, showing up when you have to, pretending you're stronger than you actually feel inside. There are moments during your day when everything seems fine on the surface, but then something small triggers you. A memory, a thought, a sudden wave of emotion, and you feel it again. A heaviness, that emptiness you can't quite name. You distract yourself, scrolling, staying busy, filling the silence with noise because the silence feels too loud, Because when it gets quiet, that's when the questions return. That's when you start to wonder where I am in all of this. That's when you ask, even if only in your heart, are you still with me? Do you still hear me? And yet, there's something deeper that you don't always admit. A quiet guilt that lingers beneath the surface. Because you remember the moments when you felt closer to me, when my presence felt clear, when your faith felt steady and strong. You remember how it used to feel, and now you wonder what changed. You question yourself. You question your consistency. You wonder if you pulled away too far, if you missed your chance, if you've become someone I no longer recognize in the same way. The thought has crossed your mind more than once, even if you try to push it away. But here is the conflict you live in every day. You want to come closer, but something keeps holding you back. Part of you longs to reconnect, to feel that clarity again, to hear me without doubt. But another part of you hesitates. Maybe it's fear that nothing will change. Maybe it's the weight of your past decisions. Maybe it's the feeling that you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. So you stay in between, neither fully distant nor fully close, caught in a place that feels confusing and exhausting. And still, even in that place, you've heard me. Not loudly, not constantly, but enough to know it wasn't your imagination. A whisper during a quiet moment. A pull you couldn't ignore. A thought that didn't feel like your own. You recognized it and then you questioned it. You felt it and then you pushed it aside. Tell me, why do you keep pretending you didn't hear me when you know deep down that you did? And now you need to understand something that you cannot afford to ignore. This isn't just about how you feel anymore. This isn't just about your exhaustion, your confusion, or your quiet questions. Something is already moving. Something has already been set into motion around you, and whether you realize it or not, you are standing in the middle of a moment that carries weight in the unseen. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That subtle shift you couldn't explain. That feeling that something is changing, even if you can't see it yet. That is not SLUCHRAIKAKI. That is not your imagination. That is me, lining things, positioning you, calling you into awareness before it's too late to recognize what is happening. You thought you had more time. You thought you could keep pushing this feeling aside, telling yourself you would deal with it later, when life slowed down, when your mind felt clearer, when everything made more sense. But listen carefully. This is not a call meant for later. This is not something you can keep postponing without consequence. Because what you are being called into requires your attention now. Not a distracted version of you. Not a half-present version of you. You. Fully aware. Fully listening. Fully willing to respond. There is something I have been preparing you for, even in the moments you thought were meaningless. Even in the silence. Even in the confusion. But if you continue to ignore this call, if you continue to silence that inner pull, you risk missing the very thing you've been asking me for. You've been praying for clarity, for direction, for purpose. But what happens when the answer begins to come and you're too distracted, too hesitant, or too uncertain to receive it? What happens when the door starts to open, but you're not paying attention to walk through it? This is why you cannot leave this moment too quickly. This is why you cannot treat this like every other passing message. Because there is a connection forming right now between your awareness and my voice. And if you break that connection too soon, you will return to the same cycle, the same questions, the same confusion, the same feeling of distance you've been trying to escape. I'm not saying this to create fear. I'm telling you this because you asked me to speak. You asked me to guide you. And this is part of that answer. Stay here. Stay with me. Because what you are about to understand will change the way you see everything you've been through. It will shift the meaning of your silence, your delays, your struggles. But you have to be willing to hear it fully. Not halfway. Not with doubt pulling you away. Fully. So don't turn away now. Not when you're this close to understanding why I've been calling you in the first place. And I'll listen closely, because this is where everything begins to change for you. You have misunderstood your journey, and that misunderstanding has been the source of so much of your pain. You thought the distance meant I left you. You thought the silence meant I wasn't listening. You thought the delays meant you were being ignored or overlooked. But what if I told you that none of it was true? What if I told you that every moment of confusion, every season of waiting, every time you felt like nothing was happening was actually part of something far greater than you could see at the time? You were not abandoned. You were being prepared. Even in the moments when you felt disconnected, I was still working. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was shaping you. The delays you resented were not rejections. They were protection. The silence you feared was not absence. It was alignment. There were things I needed to develop within you that could not be rushed. There were perspectives you needed to gain, strength you needed to build, and parts of you that needed to be refined before you could step into what was truly meant for you. And yes, it felt uncomfortable. Yes, it felt confusing. But it was never meaningless. You see, you've been measuring your life by what you can immediately understand. But I see the full picture. I see where you are, where you've been, and where you are going. And I have never lost sight of you. Not for a single moment. The very things you questioned were the very things positioning you. The struggles you wait away were quietly strengthening you. The silence you doubted was creating space for something clearer, something stronger, something unshakable to form within you. And now, you are not who you used to be. Even if you don't fully see it yet, something has changed inside you. You are more aware, more sensitive to my voice, more capable of recognizing what truly matters. You've been stretched, yes, but that stretching created room for growth. You've been tested, yes, but the testing revealed a resilience you didn't know you had. This version of you, the one listening right now, is someone who is ready in a way you weren't before. So let go of the old belief that you were forgotten. Let go of the idea that you missed your chance or fell too far behind. That was never your story. Your story is this: you were chosen, you were shaped, and you are now being called with intention. Not randomly, not accidentally, purposefully. And if you step forward now, if you respond instead of retreat, you will begin to see your life differently. The confusion will start to clear. The emptiness will begin to fill with direction. The distance you felt will be replaced with a connection that feels real again, steady again. Not because everything around you instantly changes, but because you finally understand that I never stopped working within you. This is your shift. This is where your identity changes, from someone who felt lost to someone who realizes they were being led all along. And now, here you are. You didn't scroll away. You didn't ignore the call. You stayed. And that matters more than you realize. Because this moment, this exact moment, is your answer. You've been asking if I'm still with you, if I still hear you, if you still matter to me. And the fact that you are here, listening, feeling this stirring inside your spirit, that is your confirmation. I called, and you responded. Not perfectly, not with everything figured out, but you showed up. And that is where everything begins to change. So I want you to do something simple, but powerful. I want you to respond. Not just in your thoughts, not just silently, but in a way that anchors this moment. Type the words, "I'm here." Let it be more than just words. Let it be your decision, your alignment, your way of saying, "I hear you now. I'm not running anymore. I'm not ignoring this anymore." Because people like you, those who recognize my voice, don't stay silent when they are called. They respond. They step forward. They choose connection over distance. This message was not meant for everyone. Many will hear it and move on. What you didn't. You felt it. You stayed. And that is how you know this was meant for you. I called you at the beginning, and now you understand why. Not because you were perfect, not because you had everything together, but because you were ready to listen, ready to return, ready to step into something deeper than what you've been settling for. So don't let this moment fade. Don't go back to the same distractions, the same patterns, the same distance. Hold on to this. Carry it with you. Let it remind you that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, not alone. You are called. You are seen. You are needed. And from this moment forward, you walk differently, not because everything around you has changed, but because something within you has awakened. And now, my child, you answered me. You are here, and I am still with you. If this message reached you, it wasn't just for you alone. There are others, lost, tired, searching, who are still waiting to hear this same call. When you give, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into a field of souls, a harvest only heaven can measure. I am the one who said, "Give, and it will be given to you." Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I speak that over you now as you feel this nudge in your spirit. If you are saying, "I want to help this message reach someone who feels like I did," then this is your moment to act. Do not delay what I am placing on your heart. Your seed becomes light in someone else's darkness. Your obedience becomes a river that carries my voice further than you can see. The PayPal link is waiting for you in the description, and the QR code is placed before you. This is not SLU exactly and exactly. This is your opportunity to move in alignment. As you give, I release peace over your life, clarity over your mind, and provision over your path. What you release will return to you in ways you cannot predict. Step into this moment. So now,